So I have to do this race review a little bit differently. As you can see, all my PC stuff and lighting and basically anything that I had is pretty much gone. And there's a cool teddy bear right there. Yeah, that's my all-star, my Build-A-Bear actually from like 2001, 2002, I don't know when it was. But yeah, that's basically all I have. I have to do the review on my phone. If I did it on my webcam and stuff, there would be absolutely no lighting. I'd look basically like a ghost, so it'd be terrible. So yeah, I gotta do it on my phone, and hopefully that's fine because I think the race spoke for itself. And I'm on this chair on like the wood and everything, as you can see. So I'm really happy. I'm gonna be like scrolling around and just woohoo all over the place. But yeah, that race was really good as well. Oh my god, I'm about to crash in my bed. Okay, yeah, that hurts. That race was really, really good. I remember the spring race being my race of the year. I gave that race a 10. And I think I have to give the fall race close to a 10. I would say 9.9. I still think spring, if I remember that race properly, I think the spring race was, in my opinion, a better race. But damn, this night race. I mean, just the fact that it's the Bristol night race, like it's pretty damn awesome. So that was definitely a lot of fun. Let's talk about the race itself. Stage 1 was pretty eventful. We had Larson up there. We had Blaney, who got to the lead pretty quickly. Chase Elliott was strong. I think Kevin Harvick was up there as well. But before any of that actually happened, on lap 2, there was a wreck involving Kyle Busch. And Kyle Busch was probably the story of the night. Even before the race even started, he was showing off his little troll that he is, and it is beautiful because he's basically a troll, and so many people are falling for it. I love it. As someone who can see the troll in him, he's doing it for the meme. I love the meme. I'm happy with what he's doing. So it was nice to see that, but on lap 2, he did get involved in the incident. That PJ1 grip was just really, really, really slick at the beginning of the race. Everyone who was down there was getting really loose, and he ended up just wrecking, and just there's basically just a wall of cars in the front straightaway on lap 2. So that was a big problem. People thought Kyle Busch was going to be out of the race, but Kyle didn't have too much damage. He had obviously the rear bumper completely came off, but other than that, the left side was dented in, but he was actually fine. It reminded me a lot of, I think it was Mark Martin 2009, Martinsville? I don't know, maybe I'm thinking of it wrong, or maybe it was Brian Vickers. It was someone. It was definitely at Martinsville, and the car didn't have a bumper. And I'm pretty sure it was Mark Martin 2009. But again, not 100%. But he was able to fly through the field back then as well. And he got to second place, I think, before whoever won the race. Don't remember who it was. But same kind of deal here. Kyle Busch throughout the race with that bumper cover off. It actually reduces drag, helps downforce. My left arm got tired, so I had to switch hands now. But the end of stage 1 was Ryan Blaney and Kevin Harvick. They were able to go side by side and get a pretty good finish for the end of stage 1. Ryan Blaney would win it by 0.03 of a second. Stage 2 comes around. Now, I missed most of stage 2. I had to actually go do something, so I missed most of stage 2. I didn't really see it at all, but I was keeping an eye on it. I left when Chase Elliott took the lead, and Chase Elliott took the lead. He was able to lead, I guess, most of stage 2. I'm not exactly sure how much he led because when I came back, he wasn't in the lead. And I think Kevin Harvick had an issue as well. Again, didn't see this. Kevin Harvick had a flat tire, I think it was. Joey Logano got up to the lead as well. When I came back, Joey Logano was in the lead. So then Joey Logano was in the lead. Chase Elliott gets to second, trying to run down Logano, but Logano wins stage 2, which was pretty good for him. Haven't seen him up towards the front all too much this season. He hasn't recaptured that, I think it was 2015, 2016 kind of form that he had. But he was pretty good tonight, and it was interesting. I mean, everyone was good tonight. I don't know what it is about Bristol. I don't know what it is. Maybe the PJ1 grip or however the track changes throughout the night. It just seems like every single run is different. So that's awesome because you obviously have many different guys up towards the front. So final stage comes around. Chase Elliott gets back to the lead, and he leads most of the first half of stage 3, I think. But then you have guys like Clint Boyer who's coming up towards the front. Eric Jones is coming up towards the front. And then after, when a caution comes out, Martin Truex Jr. randomly gets up towards the front. And he was horrible most of the night. And I don't really know where he came from, but he just was able to get up towards the front and battle for the lead with Clint Boyer. While this is all happening, Kyle Busch, coming from 2 laps down from that incident on lap 2, has fought his way back to the lead lap and is coming. He is on his way, and he was my pick to win the race. I thought he was winning once I saw him get to 1 lap down. When I saw that he had the speed, I think it was when he was in front of Ryan Blaney starting stage 2, when he was able to hold off Blaney and pull away. I was like, oh yeah, Kyle Busch is going to win this race. So I thought he was going to win win it. He gets up towards Truex, and then in the final stage, with I think it was maybe 65, 60 laps to go, this incident between Busch and Truex happens where Busch just kind of misjudges coming out of turn 4 and sends Truex to the inside wall. Definitely a really hard hit, and the fans would boo Kyle Busch. And Truex was very, very frustrated, as he should be. His wife on Twitter was very, very frustrated, as she should be. But Kyle Busch apologized, and he knew that it was his fault. It was nothing intentional. If you guys could just look at the replay, he thought he was going to be clear with that massive difference of speed coming out of turn 4 from the top and bottom lane. He just kind of misjudged it a little bit, and unfortunately sent Truex to the inside wall. Obviously, if I'm Truex, I'd be mad too. If I'm Truex's wife, which I'm not, but I'd be mad too. You gotta stand with your man, ride or die. That's how it is. But unfortunately, for Truex, that was his race done, and he was not having it in the post-race interview. He was just getting kind of sick and tired of always getting wrecked out of Bristol. So understandable, but he handled it with class in the post-race interview, and that's why Truex is an awesome guy, and he will probably remember that and race Kyle a little bit harder. But I think Truex is such a nice guy that he's fine. And he also mentioned being a nice guy probably hurt him, and I do agree with this, is that he was trying to pass Clint Bowyer, and he was on his bumper for 20 laps, but because they were running the top lane, and this is where, in my personal opinion, old Bristol was way better, when he was running, when they were running the top lane, he couldn't bump and run Bowyer out of the way. He could have, but he would have sent Bowyer into the wall and probably not have been very nice. So he was the nice guy, and he couldn't get around Bowyer without, probably putting him in the wall with a bump and run. And so he kind of backed off a little bit, and Kyle Busch got to him, and it put him in that position. Now, that's when you can think as a driver, you could have done something more, but it's kind of harsh luck. He couldn't really do anything. Sucks for Truex, but he'll be battling for the championship, so it's all fine. After that, restart ensues, and it's just chaos, because you have guys who pitted, like Chase Elliott pitted, Eric Jones pitted, and then you have guys who stayed out, like Chris Buescher, Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin and Austin Dillon are on 2 tires. Austin Dillon had a great run tonight, by the way, and they were on 2 tires, and then they go 3 wide. This cuts Kyle Busch's left rear tire, cuts Chris Buescher's right front tire, and then Kyle goes for a spin, bringing out the caution, and the fans are cheering, and yeah, it's the Bristol night race. You need this kind of stuff. All in all, after the race, Kyle Busch said, "That's who I am," when they were talking about him coming from the back to the front, and he's a national treasure. So I don't know if you guys want to hate on Kyle Busch, go ahead and hate on him. For me, he is the perfect definition of a troll. I like my memes, I like my trolls. I can see the troll in him. He's trolling. Kyle Busch is a troll. He doesn't care what anyone thinks or says of him, so it's pretty awesome, and he did what he had to do, and yeah, so he wrecked, unfortunately. Again, we'll be battling for the championship, so it's fine. Let someone else that's not in the big 3 win the race. Up towards the front at this moment, Clint Bowyer and Kurt Busch are battling. Kurt Busch is able to get in front of Clint Bowyer on the second to final restart, and then the final restart ensues, and Busch, on older tires, is able to hold off Larson, who was on 4 fresh tires, and is hard-charging Elliott at the end, who finishes 3rd. Now, Chase Elliott, I'm not saying this because I support Chase Elliott, but I honestly think Chase Elliott would have won the race if on the second to final restart, let me switch my arms here as my left arm is getting tired again. On the second to final restart, Chase Elliott restarted on the bottom in 7th, I think it was, while Larson restarted 8th. So Larson was in the position that Elliott probably should have been in, just from the sole luck of where you restart. So that was really unfortunate for Elliott. He had a better car than Larson. He showed that at the end there. Larson struggled most of the race after he was up towards the front in the early beginning, but he struggled most of the race. And I think Elliott would have won the race. He made a couple of really nice passes throughout the race, showing that he can pull slide jobs off and not have to hit someone if they're running the top lane. So yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. Kind of bummed as an Elliott supporter because he didn't do anything wrong. It was just a stupid double file restart luck, basically. That can't control that. So unfortunately, he finishes 3rd. He was pretty bummed out as well, but it was an awesome race. I mean, I don't think anyone can really complain much about it. One note about Jimmy Johnson, he was running, like I said, in 4th to 5th area, but maybe a tire rub that worried Chad Canals. Canals pitted him on that last caution. I didn't see smoke from the 48, but I'm guessing they had to pit for some sort of fender rub, maybe a worry of a tire going down, but it cost them a few positions. I didn't really understand that call. Going to the race results, this is weird because I have to read it off my laptop recording on my phone. This is weird. Kurt Busch, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Logano, Eric Jones, your top 5. Clint Bowyer, Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, is your top 10. Jimmy still finishes ninth. I don't know how he did that, but he was able to finish ninth. A couple of notable results here. Definitely, this is not your typical result here. You don't have anyone in the big three other than Harvick in 10th. You don't really have many two dominant guys that have been dominant throughout most of the season. So, I mean, Kurt Busch, Larson, Elliott, Logano, Eric Jones, those are 5 solid drivers. Larson gets another second place at Bristol. He's basically the Chase Elliott version of Bristol. He's been finishing second there his entire career. Hopefully he can win there eventually, kind of like how he has to win at Homestead. Clint Boyer had a solid run, just unfortunate for him in the last few restarts. Ryan Blaney struggled most of the night, hit the wall a couple times after he won the first stage, but he finishes in 7th somehow. Alex Bowman, didn't see him all night, finishes in 8th. Jimmy, like I said, that last second pit stop, is able to somehow finish in 9th. And Kevin Harvick, after being a lap down with the tire issue that I did not see, finishes in 10th. Trevor Bayne finishes 11th. That's a massive run for him. Bayne has been struggling all year. So that is huge, huge, huge for Trevor Bayne. Ryan Newman in 12th. Austin Dillon 13th. Austin Dillon did not deserve to finish 13th. He ran much better than 13th. Austin Dillon did a great job tonight in that car, and much, much credit to him. Trevor Bayne was running up towards 8th, I think, at one point. So, like I said, just a really good run for some of these guys at the short track where drivers can make the difference. And then the rest of the results, everyone basically from here on out had some sort of trouble hitting a wall or getting in trouble or just being naturally, just unfortunately slow early in the race and getting a couple laps down. So that's pretty much the race results. Yeah, it was just a really good race. I found it interesting that in the post-race interview, Elliott said, "I wish we had more short tracks." He doesn't really ever say anything about wanting more something or about the car or anything like that. So I found it interesting that he was like, "I really wish we had more short tracks." We all do, Elliott, but as he knows, can't do anything until 2021 for that to happen. And even then, what are you going to add? There's not many short tracks out there that you could add onto the schedule. You'd have to probably reconfigure tracks like Texas, tracks like, I don't know, Atlanta, if they want to reconfigure that one. You'd have to reconfigure those into short tracks. Speaking of Texas, I just had to make a little pick on Texas. The fact that we have tracks like Martinsville and Bristol, and we go to Texas twice a year, and how they completely ruined turns 1 and 2 at that track. Again, I want to talk to whoever designed turns 1 and 2 at Texas, because I don't know what you were thinking. Like that, it's the worst corner. Oh, my battery's low. It's the worst corner I've ever seen in racing. That corner doesn't make sense. But anyways, I got to complain about something in this video because that race was awesome. It was a great race. Bristol definitely came to point. I didn't think it'd be that good. I thought it'd be really good. I didn't think it'd be as good as it was, just because I thought the high line would dominate, and it did, but not necessarily like I thought it would, where it would be bad, like the Xfinity race, where the high line really dominated. They put a lot of PJ1 grip. After, it took 2 laps for it to really get going, but when it did get going, it was able to make the bottom lane pretty good. I still do enjoy the spring race a little bit more because the bottom was still the best, and you saw a lot more bump and runs and stuff like that, but you're nitpicking at that point when it's like this close. So they were able to get the top and the bottom as relatively close as they could have gotten. Obviously, in the long run, the top was a little bit better. That was just natural with how the PJ1 grip would kind of overheat and the grip would just not be there after a while. So after 10, 15 laps, you had to go to the top and kind of just run there and maybe pull off slide jobs. So overall, good race. Oh, do I still want the old Bristol? Yes, obviously I want the old Bristol, but in general, just want Bristol overall. So could race there 8 times a year, don't matter. Race Martinsville 8 times a year, then go to Richmond 4 times a year, and go to New Hampshire twice a year, and basically anything that's a mile or less, go to Dover 4 times a year, and then run other tracks like once a year, and fill out the rest of the schedule, which is like 8 races. That'd be fine. Be completely fine with that. I probably missed a little bit in the race because my left arm is dying. Like having to hold my phone like this I'm dying right now. So I'm just trying to get this done as quickly as possible. If you guys like the video, make sure to like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Comment down below what you thought of the race. And I have to go back to Gainesville now. So goodbye to this room. It's been fun. And now we got to go back to the college apartment. So I'll see you guys later. Hope you're having a great day. Peace out.